Okay. Okay. This is also my first meditation that I've ever led. Normally, like when a client comes into me, normally I just kind of open up and I sink in, and then the energy just flows. And so, how that works with a group is being there. So, all right, here I go. um, so the first thing is, let's focus on our breaths. And I can already kind of just feel the energy just calming and grounding down. Deep, relaxed, even breaths if you can. And just have the intention to bring all your energy back into your body and ground it in. So, wherever it happens to be, wherever we were in our minds or anything we've given our energy to, let's just set the intention right now to ground into our heart center and ground into our body and reclaim all that energy. Just bring it right back into your energy field. And then next, I would like to call in our divine guides and our support and our amazing angelic team and ask that they support us, connect us, and bless us. This is sounding like a prayer, it's just a meditation. Connect us and bless us that we may receive everything that we need tonight and the highest gifts and blessings and support and information to come through. And the last thing is, see if you can bring your attention to your heart center and just place your energy and your awareness there and let that energy flow down through the roots of your feet down into the earth, because we need Mother Earth's support. So have the intention to have these really deep roots, really wide roots, grounding down in, and just feeling her amazing, powerful support flood back up through your entire body, and let it reach your energy field and just brighten you out. And so we have all of the angelic and universal and energetic support coming in through and to our body, and we have the earth support coming in through, and it's just meeting in our heart center. And take another deep breath and just release all stress, all worries, and all cares, and we just connect and open to receive blessings. Okay. And I am going to specifically, while my eyes are still closed, just tune into my team and ask them to guide this evening. Okay. Thank you. So, I hope everybody feels peaceful and calm and present. And so, I'd like to tell you how this came to be. I'm a lifelong intuitive and channel and empath, although I didn't know always what it was or what was happening. Um, and I learned 19 years ago that I could talk to my guides, talk to the universe, ask questions, get answers. And I have been asking ever since. And the answers are always so amazing, divine, and spot on. And they always help. And a while ago, several years ago, I was struggling with a life situation that was very difficult. And it was prolonged, and I just wanted help. I just wanted healing, and I was asking for it, and I was doing my best to do what they said, but at some point, I just got to the end of my rope. And I sat down on my Chase lounge and I said, I was just struggling so much. I said, I'm not moving from this spot until you tell me how to fix this. because you're telling me that we have the ability to solve things. I can see it, I'm putting it into practice, and yet I'm having this emotional struggle. I'm not sure what to do with it. And they were also sharing that we really are designed to thrive. We're designed to be happy. And so I just said, well, I'm not. I refuse to move. And it was the reason they came through so clearly in that moment. They had been there all along. They shared all the information all along. But what I was going through had me so stuck that I wasn't really open to it. And at that moment, I got so frustrated that I just opened. I just sat down and I said, I want to know exactly why I'm going through this. I want to know how to heal it. I don't think we are on this earth to go through this struggle. There has to be more to life. This is too much. And so they said, well, we're so happy you asked because we've been trying to share this with you. And so instantly the information came through of what was going on and why. And they said, well, number one, you are a field of energy. And it is, I think if it's okay with you, I'm just going to close this. That was shining right on me. But we're most often taught that we're not. We're taught to listen to others. We're taught to stay safe and to kind of do what society says in order to be safe. We were just talking about this in terms of education. Here's what you have to do to feel safe and get somewhere. And maybe there's a lot of struggle involved and a lot of fear involved. And they said, but you're wired for thriving and you're born thriving. You're born with all of these things that you're seeking, but you've been taught. It's like we were all handed an outdated owner's manual that wasn't quite correct and it wasn't up to date. And so they said, so here's the new one. Number one, connect. You are a field of energy. And if you are in your mind and you are outside of yourself, you are disconnecting from the source and power of everything that you are, of all of the help, all of the support. We connect in through our heart center. And it is one of the chakras. To me, that connection point looks like a portal. It looks like the thing in Tony Stark's chest in the Marvel movies, or like it's a powerhouse of energy. It's going to look different to everybody. I think because I have 4 boys, that's what pops into my head. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yours might be much prettier than that, but it's very tangible and real and powerful. And when we put our attention on it, we open it and we relax it and we expand it. And that energy field is designed to flow into your entire energy field, your entire body, so all of your chakras, so that you have optimal health. And they're all radiating and balanced and clear and intuitive. So all this divine guidance is clear as a bell. And it creates all of the cells of your body. We're designed to have pristine health. When we disconnect from here, we experience ailments. And so we experience the disconnect from life force energy and thriving. And then it's meant to radiate out and create our entire lives. It's meant to go past our arms and radiate out. For me, it looks like it's about at least 20 feet in any direction. Mm-hmm. But your energy blueprint is as unique as your fingerprint. So let it look any way that it looks for you, but know that you connect to it here. The way that you connect to it is through your awareness. The way that we create anything is through our awareness, because that was my next question. So they told me what it was, and I'm like, well, how do we do it, and how do we remind ourselves to do it? And one of the things that they shared was, it's impossible to be a bad manifester. We are constantly manifesting nonstop, whether we like it or not. Are you focusing on and knowing how to manifest what you want? And so the way that we manifest is through intention and attention. So you get clear on who you are and what you want. My number one goal was to access my life force energy and let it speak to me and transform me and bring it back online, because it had shrunk. When we disconnect from it, it shrinks. And then the next was attention. Like, are we paying attention to it? truthfully, we're designed to always have part of our awareness within us. We're not actually designed to take our minds and go outside of us and focus on things. And so the way that would look in everyday life is, here I am, I'm in my present moment. I have a bunch of tools that I am happy. Like I was thinking of what my favorite tools were to apply this. Like, how did I remember to access it? And truthfully, let in all of these solutions and support, like they just would keep unfolding every time I would put this into practice. So I have a list of that I can send you guys if you want, just to have my favorite ones. But let's see, where was I? So we're designed to be at home within ourselves, reside within ourselves. And part of our awareness is always there. Even if we're having an interaction, even if we're creating something or doing something, part of our awareness is always there on our presence. And then it's that energy field, because we're present and connected to it, our energy field is flowing, which blesses everything that we do. And so you have part of it there and part on whatever you're creating or focusing on. And so that's how, so we connect to it through our, number one, our awareness that this is actually how we're designed. We're designed to connect in here and be aware that it's meant to. And if you practice, you'll be able to feel it powerfully shine out, radiate out. Our energy fields are not meant to be meek or weak. They are like powerhouses. They don't bowl anybody over because they're just radiating. But they are a powerhouse of light, of love, solutions, creative ideas, all these things that we're seeking. Like, they're flooding too, not flooding because we wouldn't be seeking quite as much, but they're there. But we tend to disconnect or not pay attention or not trust ourselves or do any of this stuff. And that remedies when you connect. So for me, so they said, here's what you have to do. So number one, know that it's big and bright and powerful. And anytime your energy drains or anytime you find that you're struggling, reconnect and re-shine out. It sounds simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Or I would not be facing my fear in a group wanting to teach this. It was that life-changing for me. And it's been life-changing for my clients. It's how we're designed. And the greatest thing that we could ever do or learn is how to understand how we're wired, access our thriving, and learn how to bring it through constantly on a daily basis, not just a daily basis, but on a nonstop basis to live in this place. And so they explained to me that the reason I was struggling so badly with emotions, which I'll cover more deeply in the emotional thriving event, but is that when we disconnect from our source energy, which we've all been taught to do, when we go into our thinking mind, when we go into fear, our energy field shrinks to about an inch. So your life force energy is trickling through. And so you don't feel good. That just feels terrible. In fact, if you just tighten every muscle in your body as tight as you can and then try to live that way, you can't do it. But that's what we're doing to our energy field, is we're just shrinking it. So we're disconnecting, and then we kind of wonder why. Health issues have become the norm, but we're not designed to have them. But we're not listening to our intuition. We're not giving ourselves the support we need. We're not making healthy choices. We're letting everybody else tell us what to do, and our bodies are reflecting that back to us. So where was I? Oh, so it shrinks. So when that happens, there's two sides of this that I want to say. One, our emotions, when I energetically looked, because we all have the ability to see and read energy, but when I looked energetically, I could see that the emotions I was going through, even though they were the most intense emotions that I had ever experienced, or that most people would experience, because it wasn't a light situation. It was still right about here. It was about this size. And they said, if your energy field is shrunk to about this size, that's your entire world. and you wonder why you're depressed, you wonder why you're struggling, you wonder why everybody feels so helpless to emotions, lost, because when your energy field is that small, it literally feels like an all-consuming, it's your entire world. As soon as you pop your energy field right back out, this not only heals rapidly because you're connected to your source energy now. So the solutions, the support, all of that stuff starts flowing and healing. Our systems are designed to heal themselves, just like our bodies are when we allow it. Our mind and energy and emotions are designed the same way. So when we reconnect and we let our energy just be its normal, thriving, bright shape and size, it is very quickly going to release everything that it doesn't want. It's been trying to since that wound first happened. But because emotions are so misunderstood, we tend to run from them or hide from them, and we think it's going to take a really long time to heal. We think it's going to feel really bad. We don't have any idea what they are or why they are so precious. They're like a gold mine, actually. And as soon as you understand them, oh my gosh, you feel so much better. Like you never struggle with emotions again. And I can tell you this because I've lived it. It works brilliantly well. And so let's see, your system will heal and release it. And I'm trying to think what part I was going to say, like, did I cover that part of it? So that's how it came to me. So I instantly like took the information in and I just started applying it. I'm like, okay, so here's my energy field. I'm brightening it out. Instantly when you do that, you feel better because you've come home. You've connected to your source of power. So without solving or changing anything, your system is like, thank God. Okay, I can breathe again. I'm powerful again. There's an energetic, tangible change that happens when you consciously choose to do this. It's tangible. It felt different to me, and I rapidly worked through the things that I was going through. Actually, I thrived through it, which blew my mind because I didn't think that was possible. I did not think that was possible. And I was able to tangibly create change. Things that I was struggling so hard to do because I didn't have access to support and guidance. I wasn't taking up my power. I wasn't taking up my space. I was struggling to do all these things and had for my entire life. But when I did this, I was able to be successful. I was able to, there's something very tangible about your energy field and about accessing it, even though it sounds, because I said to my guides, I know this works. I know I want to teach it, but it sounds really simple. Are people going to get it? Are they? And they said, yes, just tell them how to do it. And then the proof is in the pudding. They said, if you want to create something and you put this into practice, you will see the results. And it's kind of like meditation. We were talking about meditation earlier. One of the things they say about meditation is when you're doing it, it doesn't always feel like it's working. Yeah. It's the results and changes in your everyday life that's where you know it's working. Because during it, most of us don't feel that great. Mm-hmm. We just feel like we're getting it wrong and our minds are wandering and oh my God, and that, but when we show up, the universe is there to meet us. And it doesn't matter how much we drift off, the universe, like because we're opening that door to meditation, the universe is like, thank goodness, and pours through. And it's like this, we finally open. And so it's kind of like meditation in that sense that you'll be putting it into practice. And for me, and for some people, like I tangibly felt different and I felt empowered. But even if you aren't a feeler, you will see the changes and you will notice the difference. So what else do I want? First off, do you have any questions? Does it make sense? So how I built this in was I set the intent, like I knew how important it was. And I wanted to change. I wanted to heal. I wanted to feel better. I had this long list of things I wanted to create. And so I stayed connected. I stayed as present as I could, and I did anything that I could to remind myself. Because, like I said, we're all great manifestors. But are we paying attention to our own connection to source, our own ideas? Another thing that happens when we shrink, when we disconnect, is that space is going to be filled with something. So now you're pulling in all this energy from all around you that's crowding your space. And it's other people's ideas and other people's opinions. And oftentimes, they're not that healthy. They're not true. They're not positive. Sometimes they are. But even if it's the greatest, healthiest, most kind person, if you're pulling their energy into yours by nature, this is what happens when you shrink. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but nature abhors a vacuum. Like, it'll fill up. And even if it's positive, it's still not yours. So it's never going to feel as potent, as powerful, as good as when you're connected to your source and you're letting it guide you. And so that tangible practice of choosing to connect, and you can even kind of practice it right now if you want to, is just take your mind's eye and your awareness to your heart center. You might feel something, you might not. It works either way. And have a conscious intention to connect there and to open it and expand it. And allow it to pop back out, radiate back out to your full normal energy field. Sometimes it's like if you're on an airplane and your ears clog and you go and you just kind of blow to pop them back out. Mm-hmm. It's like that, and I'll just pop my energy field back out. So whatever works in your mind's eye to feel and make the conscious choice to connect and to let that source of all that you are, because you're connected to the infinite when you do that. You're connecting to infinite life, force, energy, to solutions, to thriving, to pristine health, to radiance. And so when you choose to consciously visualize that and practice it and practice how it feels, ask for help, ask your guides or ask yourself, help me do this. What does this feel like? Is there any way to strengthen this? Don't forget to always ask for help. We have this amazing divine team, each of us. And they are there to help strengthen or learn or support us in every single way. And so ask them, help me strengthen my energy field. Help me strengthen my connection to source. Help me know, what does it feel like or look like to me when I really am potently in my full space, being my full self. Because that gets really bright and natural boundaries will happen. If any of you are empaths, or if you're sensitive, or if you're a people pleaser, or if you tend to have a lot of people crowding your space, this remedies that, and which was one of my favorite things, because I really struggled with that. I would feel everybody else's energy, and then I would just kind of do what they want. So when I connect here, and I'm this powerhouse of energy, I'm feeling my internal guidance, which is connected to everyone and everything. So anything that flows from here will bless everyone and everything on the planet. There is nothing but light and love that flows from this space. So we're not going to be neglecting anyone. We're going to be more powerfully able to help, but in a place of power and in a place of inner guidance. Because when we're not guided and we're doing it because it'll make them happy, but we really know that we're not going to feel good and we're going to get stressed, and then we're physically going to get sick and we don't have the energy for it, then our health goes down and our relationships go down because we're stressed and we're fighting and our needs aren't met. So now we're just kind of combative, and we have this divide between us because of that combativeness, right? So now we're not listening to each other. We're not compassionate. We're arguing. And, this is at home. This is globally, politically, all of these areas. When you connect here, this connection to love and oneness is what pours out. And you're actually able to connect with people on this level. So everybody you come in contact with, you're now going to be connecting with them at that level. You're going to be brightening that within them. And if they're not in that place, they're literally not going to show up for you. that you're not going to line up with them. They could be right there, but you're in this brightness, so it's not going to affect you. So it actually strengthens relationships. It strengthens what you have to give. It strengthens your health. And I'm trying to think what else I was going to say about that. So
do you stay in that, or do you every now and then have to pull it back? Like, do you catch yourself?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Which is why I have my favorite toolbox that I want to post on my website and share with you guys. Like, I have my things that have helped me come back. And not more importantly than accessing this, but in addition to accessing this, how I remind myself to thrive. We are not meant to struggle. Things do not need to take time. This takes you out of linear thinking and old mental constructs. It connects you to the infinite. So the struggle we're having, I've been through a lot. And so I was having a really rough night. And I just said to my guides, like, holy crap, what do I do? I am really struggling. And I don't know what to do with this. And they're like, then bring the answer through. And I'm like, yeah, but it's the middle of the night, like, how am I going to solve any of this now? And they're like, but you have, yeah. And they're like, you have access to infinite source energy. You have everything you need inside you every second. You guys all do. That's what they're telling me. It's like, everybody does, but you're in the habit, because of everything we've been taught, of disconnecting from it. And so they're like, you have to get in the habit of bringing the solution through right this second. You have everything you need in you, whether you need to feel better or be reassured or know what choice to make or any of it. Or I have this very tangible problem and I'm not sure what to do, or I'm having a struggle, whatever it happens to be, anything in all areas. And so yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I so badly wanted to create a community or group like this, because I said to my guides, I'm like, everything you're teaching works every time, spot on. I'm blown away by it. I have changed so much in my life because of it. But I was still having some struggles. And so I said, so if we're wired to thrive, and if everything you're teaching me works, then why am I still struggling sometimes? Because I've been taught how to emotionally thrive. I got that down. And I tell you, I feel so empowered emotionally. And I mean, through deep stuff. I now know exactly what to do with it all. And I feel good the whole time. And it doesn't stick around. And so I know all that. So why was I still struggling? And they said, okay, we're happy you asked that too. And it's because you need, for two reasons, the connection of community. So I did not, at the time, I wasn't surrounded by a lot of people who thought like I thought. And so they said 2 things will happen when you start this community, maybe 3 things. 1, you are going to be surrounded by bright, like-minded, amazing people that I have been seeking and wanting to connect with. That's going to feel amazing. But the other 2 parts of it are that because we've all been taught the old owner's manual for life, when we come together, 2 things happen. Like, I personally, so this is what they said to me. They said, you need the daily reminder. You need a check-in every single day. This is what I'm doing. I'm connected to others. I am reminding myself I'm infinite. I'm literally wired for thriving. And to remember to pull this through instead of thinking, oh, that's a problem. I got to focus on the problem. No problem is ever solved by focusing on the problem. It gets solved the second we turn towards and look for a solution. That's the way it happens every time. So we needed to be reminded, infinite source energy, shine it out, create thriving. Going to the grocery store, this is going to be a great experience. It's going to go well. So, it's not going to be that crowded. I'm going to feel good. Like, literally, we're like, it sounds funny, but we're really designed for so much support. Like, they don't really want us to be down here struggling. It doesn't really do anything. It's our conscious choice to access effortlessness. And when we do, we're going to be guided away from things that cause us to struggle. And we're naturally going to be lining up with things that are effortless. And it kind of sounds like, Yeah, but isn't life just the other way? Like, should we really be accessing all of this ease? I thought life was about struggle and strain.
Because we were raised no pain, no gain.
Yes, we've been taught all this stuff that doesn't apply anymore. It's like, can you imagine using the same owner's manual from your dinosaur phone to your latest technology? We would think that the technology didn't work. We would think it just, that doesn't work. It's broken. Life doesn't work. Life is hard. So not only does it work beautifully with the right manual, but it does way more than we even have any. I mean, don't you know that our phones and technology are capable of so much more than we take the time to learn? I mean, it's amazing what they can do. Our kids can probably tell us what they can do, but and so it's that way with this. They're like, you have no idea how much potential is in you. And they said, we promise you will not get bored because you all have things that you want to do and create, things that you want to dive into, problems that you want to solve, and you're going to create them with a lot of joy and a lot of support. And so when we access this, it doesn't just help us thrive, but it helps our kids and it helps our family and friends and it helps our communities because now we're the source of this. And I've seen that in my own life, the difference that it makes. So, okay, where was I? Interrupt if you have any questions. So accessing, let me see if I've covered like all.
Ask your guys.
Yeah, where was I? They always giggle and don't answer when I do that. So let me think if I've covered all the details of it and how we're doing good on time. Okay, so let me open this back up and see. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. How do we remind ourselves to do this on a regular basis? So first off, intention and attention. Bring in infinite support for yourself in any way that you can access. We're just not used to allowing ourselves to be supported. We're not in the habit of it. So we do not choose it as often as we could. We also don't ask them to help us hit the easy button as often as we could. We go into these complex ideas of how things should be or how long it's going to take and last time. And that's a sure sign that you've disconnected and you've gone into your mind of outdated info is that. And they're like, ask how much you can hit the easy button today. What is the easiest, most blessed way that I can create X, Y, and Z, or that I can solve this? Get into the flow of effortless ease and infinite support.
I say that a lot. I go through
Do you?
Ease and effortlessness.
Oh, yes, that is such a great. Yes, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. So any way to let that in, whether it's your sticky notes or anytime, anything that raises your frequency is putting you back into that connection. And for me, one of my favorite things was I created something. I figured out to create something for myself called pause points, because sticky notes are fine and really positive Instagram feeds are fine because it's connection and it's that positive energy. It's those reminders that we need of how powerful we are. But I would still forget and I would get into my day and I would get really busy. And so for me, I noticed that anytime there was a transition, I would pause and just go, okay, I'm going from the car to the house. Am I connected? Am I bright? And am I sending light ahead of me to pave the way? So clear anything out of my path that does not serve me. It would be a waste of my precious time and energy, and bring in the highest frequency of alignment and blessings. And I'm just setting that intention and going into my house. And as I go into my house, I'm going to stay connected to my heart center because that's where my inner guidance is. And that's what tells me, oh no, don't have that conversation right now. It's not going to go well. Or to go ahead and have it, or what to say. It has helped me tangibly when something really clearly would have gone into a really tough argument. But because I stopped and reconnected and I listened and I stayed there, I just kept part of my attention. I was asking for help and asking for blessings. And I ended up hearing and understanding things on a whole new level. And we came up with a solution. And there was love and joy and blessings instead of what could have been this really painful argument. And so so I set that intention to help with that because you hear each other. You miss stuff when you're disconnected that would create the effortless ease that is our birthright. So anytime, so I start my day with it, and then any kind of transition point. The car is a big one. Like if I'm going into the grocery store, out of the grocery store, if I am transitioning from focusing on something I'm working on and I'm going back into my daily life, if you're in an office, there's probably lots of transitions point from one project to a next. And it can be 10 seconds of just, whoop, I'm connected, I'm bright. Have I collected any energy? Do I want to release anything that's not mine, that doesn't serve me? Sometimes I do a little energy break, off and on if I need it, where I just rub my hands together. So that's the old energy. This especially works well with people or situations. Mm-hmm. Disconnecting and clearing, I'm bringing back my energy. I'm releasing what's not mine. I learned that years ago in Theta, because I'm a Theta practitioner too. Break the energy and bring it back. And it's just something in my mind's eye that works really powerfully.
What'd you do? Did you go like this?
Yeah, I just went in any way that intuitively feels.
I usually go like this.
Oh, that's a good one.
But it doesn't bring it in. I just don't,
Uh-huh.
I would like
That's
to
the Reiki where you brush it off.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it
send
is.
away what's not mine to carry and
Oh,
not
beautiful. Mm-hmm. So they're always saying, make it yours.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're like this, there's something about this for me that I like. But
I
any
like, you said, it
intention,
breaks up the.
yeah, it clears out
separates it.
any
Yeah.
or me, like, because ideally we're in our energy field and chakra pillar, and we're at home in it, and we're not suppressing, we're not like leaning too far out or too far back. I mean, that's what we do all the time. We like try too hard, or somebody will come towards us and we'll do this instead of being in our power. So ideally, it would be in that place of power, in our powerful energy field. And and ideally, of course, the more we do this, the less you need to do this, because you're just lining up with better situations. Or I've also noticed that my energy field is so bright. So if you have somebody, this applies all the time, but you'll notice it in particular if there's somebody that causes you stress, or somebody with a big energy field, or whatever it happens to be. It can be somebody you love dearly, but if they just, in that moment, they're having like their energy is kind of not balanced. And so what I used to do was just kind of, without realizing it, I would shrink and I would go, I don't want any of that energy.
Right.
And what I now know to do that works magic is I stay here and I powerfully shine that light out right towards that person. Does not barrel them over, but this is my space. And I'm going to take up this space, and you're welcome to be here and shine your light, but you're not going to take up my space, because this is mine. It's what I need. And this is adding love and light. It's not taking away from anyone or anything, because a lot of people who are paying attention, that like want to change the world and they want to do good things, sometimes we have a hard time taking up space because we don't want to take away from anybody else. When you connect to your source energy, you don't take away from anybody else. In fact, you become a contributor of abundance, of support. So people that are near you are now going, oh, I feel so much better when I'm around you. They may not even be voicing it, but it is the greatest gift you can give anyone or the planet, is to connect here and radiate out powerfully. So the pause points are huge. I have some tools that I can scan through. So let me see, I went through that. Stay connected, radiate thriving, pour through solutions. I don't know if we need to address grounding. Disconnect blocks you from your life force. So as you do your pause points, ask yourself, did I shrink? Did I just shrink accidentally? Because we're kind of in the habit of it. And there was something else I was going to say. Did I shrink? Oh, just get in the habit, especially through these pause points. So during the pause points, you're going to connect, consciously reconnect, consciously radiate out, but also We can't thrive if we're not listening to ourselves. What do I need on all levels? What does my energy need? Emotions, mental, and physical. There's always one we're neglecting. We're kind of stronger in one, weaker in the other. But what do I need? Sometimes we need to get in bed and rest. And sometimes what I'll notice is just how do I feel? I feel really crappy. What's going on? Oh, I got too distracted in my mind thinking about something and I've disconnected from my source. Bring myself back down, brighten back up. My energy will raise right back up and I will feel like $1,000,000 again. My stress goes away. My lower energy, I was really tired, goes away because I've reconnected to that. So a lot of it is energetic because you're not going to feel energized if you're disconnected from life force energy. And then also really honoring your body. We're so out of the habits of treating ourselves as sacred on all levels and just going, am I comfortable? Do I want to make a change? What do I need today? I know I have this running idea of what I normally do or what I should be doing or what this person wants me to do, but what am I doing? And what do I need and what do I want? And so part of that for me was coming home to myself. And we were talking about meditation earlier and the kinds that work or don't work for us. And one of my favorite things to do is to learn to spend time. Sounds different than it is. To spend time with myself, to commune with myself. This is the number one relationship we need to be building. Everything we do and create comes from here. So if we're not actually listening to who we are. So for me, what that looks like, when we're little, we're taught to listen to our elders because they love us and they want us to be safe. And so they did not know to teach us to go within. And that we have the access, to the answers and what do you think? And what's your opinion? And, they didn't know to teach us that. So we have to give that to ourselves now. And I'll just take some time. Sometimes it's 30 seconds. Sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's in my cozy bed. Sometimes it's in nature or in the shower because water is really great for connecting to energy. And I will kind of commune with myself. So I don't really have an agenda, but I have the intention that I'm actually listening to and wanting to get to know who I am and what my desires actually are because I've been hearing and feeling and mostly living other people's, but what are mine? And what does my inner guidance sound like? And you don't have to ask those questions. It's more about just like if you meet somebody and you want to have a great relationship, you have to spend time getting to know that person. But we need to flip that towards ourselves and just turn it into something really fun, like turn it into a little vacation day for yourself where you're like, I'm gonna spend this whole day dating myself. I'm gonna get really curious about what I do or don't like, what raises and lowers my energy. What do I really think about the situation? It gets easier when you're connected here and you're radiating out. Your voice is much more audible. Like you'll hear your own truth. It feels so good. It feels so good to be in this energy field. And so practice it and you'll begin to feel like, wow, this feels tangibly different. And man, do I like my own energy field and my own opinions. It feels good. Sometimes for the first time ever, we're experiencing this. So, okay, that was a lot. And let me check on our time. Yeah, it's maybe almost 8. So I am happy to answer any questions or like if I don't know if that resonated or if there's anything else that I can do to help. I'm trying to think. I want to make sure. I think I covered most of it.
All of it resonates.
Oh, yay.
All of it does.
Okay, good.
So it reinforces things that for me I've learned in other ways.
Yeah.
And some of it is the same that I've learned in other ways.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's very reinforcing. And it's such a reminder too. Talking about the energy field is something new, like thinking that it goes that far out. Because
Yeah.
there's times when you'll see your friends or you'll see people and say, well, they're like, what have you been doing? I want what you have.
Yes,
You know?
that's it.
Right?
That's what they're seeing.
But then you go through periods where you don't hear that and you're like, oh shit.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
what am I,
Yeah.
I'm not where I was or something, or I'm not.
Something's off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't notice it as much when I'm not getting it, which is a problem probably because I could tune in
Mm-hmm.
and juice it up a little.
Mm-hmm.
But I notice it when I am getting that kind of feedback. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, okay, well,
Yes.
I'm doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I can actually feel the guides right now. They're like, okay, here's what you guys really, really need to know. It's kind of like what you're saying. I'm going to say that when they say you, they mean all of us.
Mhm.
So this is not me going you, but it's all of us as human beings. We are so wired to thrive. And they're like, could you please access it and have so much fun with it? You are meant to be in this bright, powerhouse, expressive state of, it's like when I visually see it, it's like all of this brightness and it's colorful and it's joy. And they're like, you're designed to stay there. So believe in yourself and have so much fun with it and access it, because they're kind of on the other side going, oh, what can we create? What can we do? And they love creating, and they know we're wired for this, and they compassionately want to help us with absolutely everything that we're going through and literally thrive through it. We're not meant to struggle through it. We're not meant to swim upstream. And so that's maybe something I can talk about next week, was the difference between problems and projects. And because when we disconnect, there's no life force flowing to the areas of our life, which creates all these problems that remedy themselves as soon as you connect and as soon as you shine. Like all these things will just start solving. And then projects are something else. And so it's interesting.
So how do you know for sure when you're connected?
Intention and attention.
Okay.
You may not notice it. Some
Okay.
people like see or
Don't
feel or sense,
different.
but there's tons of people who just don't. And
Okay.
they said, as long as you're intending it and you're making the conscious choice to put your attention on it, you are successfully doing it every time, whether you notice anything or not.
Maybe you come up with like a code phrase for you and your guides or your angels. You know, I'm going to say this each time I want to connect. Or something
Yes,
like
that's awesome. They're like, that's really lighting up. That's really
Phrase.
powerful.
Make it personal or something.
Yes, yeah. I will ask them for flashing neon signs. I'm like, do not let me get off. I really want to be on track today. I need flashing neon signs to stay on track, because if I don't, then things start to go wrong, and I'm just tired of that. So I'm like, give me the guardrails.
I like the flashing neon sign.
Yeah.
Used to be with 2x4s over the head.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm glad we've upgraded that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Signs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the intention, and ask them, like, what is the best way for me to connect? What's a great word for me? Or, you know, like, just don't forget to keep asking for that help and then listening, because they'll just pop stuff through like you wouldn't believe. But yeah, the intention, attention, and just don't forget to brighten it out. In fact, one of the tools that I had written, it's just like, it's kind of a rinse and repeat. They're like, connect, shine it out, stay there. They just said, just keep doing that. And it's just like learning anything new. It just takes a little bit of practice. And the more you focus on it, the faster you'll get it. And ask them, they're like, I can really feel this right now. Ask them to help you, because it's your natural state. Ask them to help you return to it. Ask them to help you make it as natural as breathing, because it is. Ask them to make it easy. Ask them to give you those really clear guided signs, how to connect, my best ways of doing it, what are the best ways to remind myself, and to really visualize and stay in that powerful, bright space. And here's the kicker, listening to the answers. So I will ask something, and then I'll just open and go, thank you for this answer. Thank you for this. And I'm not pretending. I know it's right there. I'm just listening. And I'm like, but somehow saying the thank you puts me in this really clear, and it doesn't feel like a thank you, please. It doesn't feel like that. It's just like, oh, this is here. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you. Where do I look? And from this place, I'm constantly guided. You'll get the nudges to trust. Actually, I'm really glad I remembered to say that part. You'll get the nudges of everything you need to know for that. You'll get divine guidance. You'll get, all of the things will pour through from that place. So for me, it's like sometimes it'll be absurd, like go do the laundry. And it seems simple, but it got me out of my head. It moved the energy. Then all of a sudden something showed up and suddenly the whole evening is just flowing. Whereas before I connected and checked in, it was kind of like, oh gosh, this is going to be so hard. And I honestly don't know how it's going to unfold or how it's going to work. And so that connection, the brightening, and then ask and listen, and just be really open, because they're like, the answer's right there. We're giving it to you. Just make sure you're paying attention. So if you place an order on Amazon, you got to open that door. And they use the Amazon one with me. They're like, make sure you don't doubt that it's going to be delivered and quickly. So they're like, know that this is here. We're giving you every bit of support. Pour it through, and listen to those little nudges. And they always feel good, and trust them. And when in doubt, ask. Okay, so I'll stop talking everybody's ear off. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I have been wanting this connection and to meet new people for so long. So this is such an honor to be able to meet you guys and to
How long
connect with
has
you.
it taken you to like come to this, to do this?
Let's see. Well,
Because misery loves company. So.
yeah, for me, it's been years.
Yeah, that's
You know, the seed got planted, and there were times when I thought, what the heck? I'm not getting anywhere near my goal. And they're like, oh, yes, you are. You see this whole chunk of stuff that you've been working on? If you didn't have this in place, this wouldn't happen. And I was like, okay, all right. Because it just did not look like I was on track.
Mm-hmm.
But I was the whole time. I mean, like, very precise. Like you were saying with yours,
Yeah.
all these things happened that sounded like they were perfectly laying the foundation for what you wanted to create.
But at the time, they were just like, okay, I'll pursue that. Cause
Yes.
I see that.
Yes.
Connect the dots.
Yeah. And that's what it feels like, whether it's laundry or
Mm-hmm.
take this job or whatever it is. And I've had them where they seem very, very unrelated. And then I'll do it because it feels right. And then I'm like, oh, wow, that worked in tie-dye. I just had no idea.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I feel like were we talking about something else before we switched to that? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, just.
You were just talking about how you got here and you're glad to be here.
Yeah, so it took a while, and multitasking, parenting, and homeschooling, and trying to do a website, which I am terrible at, because everything that I've done is word of mouth. And so, like, all the time. So to try to completely do a brand new website, have a new intention, like I want to do a vlog where I can share this information with people who can't, interact with me or whatever, and the reminder, that inspiring reminder that, oh yeah, we got this. Here's how to access it and go for it.
Yeah.
Because if it's in your heart, it is totally meant to be created and would bless the world. And so we need to access that and go for it. So having the idea for a vlog, the groups, that I just really wanted a community of amazing people that were inspiring and stuff like that. So.
Well, your meetup is so good.
Yeah.
Do you do your own meetup, or does someone do your meetup for you?
No,
you
I
have,
didn't.
Because the amount of information, the credibility is huge in that. A lot of them, most of the meetups I've seen don't have that much depth.
Oh.
They don't.
Yeah.
I got to know you. I got to know you had a program. There's a lot, and plus you sent reminders that were, every one of them was helpful.
Oh, good.
Like, it wasn't overwhelming. It was like, oh, that's right, I wanted to do that. And like, I didn't actually know until middle of today, because I was in Annapolis, if I was going to be back in order to do it. So then I was like, where's that last email?
Yeah. Oh, that's
But
so helpful to know.
there's so much, it stands out from most meetups.
I am kind of new to meetup. I've done a few things in the past, like for myself at like a hiking one and stuff. So I didn't know, and I just kind of said, "Okay, Angels, what am I supposed to do?" But I did not know how it landed and how it felt with people, and I was nervous about that.
How did it feel with you guys?
And the summary is nice, say what you're going to talk about in each class.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Well, you had really good insight for me the last time. Julie was at the first one, and so I was asking for feedback, and it was so helpful, everything that you shared. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So that reminds me to say that because I'm building the website and I need testimonials for it and I need feedback to know how is the meetup, how is group sessions, and to get testimonials for private sessions, I am doing everything for free. I've been doing this for years, working one-on-one with clients, and I love helping them heal. So if there's anything so in lieu of any payments for, I don't know how long, maybe a few weeks or something, and I'm going to post it to the meetup group, but I'm going to keep these free in exchange for spreading the word to anybody that you might think would benefit. If you have feedback, authentic criticism is welcome, because I want to be able to do this to the best of my ability. So please don't hold back. If you have something that would really help if I changed or improved, or if you liked it and you're willing to share that, and then I can share that with other people so that they can see, oh, this person had this positive experience or whatever. I know this is brand new. So this is our first, the meetups are brand new. But feel free to schedule a private session if you ever want any I'm trained in Theta and in oneness, and I've done healing energy work for years now. And so we work on a whole host of things. Like, people just come in with whatever they're struggling with, and then the divine guides show up, and we just, do a lot of healing, and guidance comes through and stuff like that. So feel free.
Right back there.
Yeah, no, just this.
Okay.
But, and I was debating, I've never had the thing to lay down on. Yeah, and I was debating that one. It's always just been, with Theta, which is what I started in.
You don't really need to lay down.
You don't. You just do the energy work. Like, there's no need to lay down, But with Reiki, do they lay?
Yeah.
They do. Yes, I'm
you can do it seated. Yeah, for most,
right here,
lay down.
Lay down.
I know. I was like, well, if I have like another ottoman that I could put there with some
You
pillows.
could actually lay on that.
Yeah. And I toyed with converting this area, but I haven't gotten to do that yet. So I could, make that a different space or change it around. So actually, that when it comes to the space and the environment, if you have any advice as far as being in a group here or,
you say this Theta, I haven't heard of that. It's so interesting because I think I started in different kinds of kind of pursuing different spiritual and healing stuff about when I was 40, and I'm 57 now. And so I'm always so fascinated to learn yet another way that people go about healing.
There's so many in there.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's no one right way. It's just there's so many
people resonate with different ones.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I just came across somebody who, this has been in my teaching for the past several years, but I hadn't been able to launch or give birth to a course or the website where I tangibly, because it's different explaining it one-on-one in a session. And I just heard somebody sharing it the other day from a scientific standpoint. And I was like, that's really cool. I don't resonate that much that way, but it was so exciting to see the same exact information being shared through that verbiage.
And your website.
That's
credibility.
That's true.
Credibility.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't even think about that.
Did you know? And then put a couple of facts down there.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a girl who did my website. She asked me if you need help.
Oh, that's a really great thing to know, because I did mine, but with great pain. And so for future stuff, there's a lot of other pages and sites that I want to create, and
that's what she does, social media. She's 20, 30 or 4, but
all these millennials.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, that sounds good.
She flies through the stuff, and she's $25 an hour. Now.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
She came to me, she's like, it's 15, okay. I'm like, girl,
Oh.
I'm asking in this program, you better not underestimate your value.
Yes.
But to get her started, I'm like, let's do 25.
Yeah.
She's very quickly going to go way above that.
That's
She's going to double that in a year.
Yeah.
Easily.
That's so good you said that to her too, to support her. Will you send me her info, or can I?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Thank you. That would be great. Yep. Okay, so let me see if there was anything else.
Her name is Christina.
Okay. Wait. Those are the tools.
So the next week was going to be emotional thriving.
Thriving.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then what about the week after that?
That was accessing infinite support.
Oh, I need that. Okay.
That's a good one.
That's when we forget to ask for help.
Oh, yeah, and to tangibly access it.
Yeah.
Like, we're meant to be living this and accessing this all the time. And so,
Do it.
I know, right? It really is so exciting.
But you do have a course. I mean, each week you have a topic. That's
Yeah.
a course. That's
I realized this. I was like, oh, I think this is building itself.
Yeah, it is.
You know? Yeah. And I'm getting ready to do a 30-day challenge. Like, just for free, just to see if anybody wants to learn it, apply it, like 30-day total transformation. There's a couple things I want to do. The 30-day challenge is one. And then I have a really exciting course in mind for the fall that I would like to build that involves the chakras. And it involves like 7 weeks of transforming your life, because we don't know that much about them. And it is really exciting to bring them online. We were just talking about chakras and like access them and create what each energy center is there to thrive and to create through. And that one's been around for years, and I keep going, for some reason, I just really want to do that one. So maybe for the fall. But yeah, so it's exciting that like it's kind of unfolding through just like, well, how do I explain this in a group setting? I just wanted to make sure. Do
you have a business card?
I do not. But through Meetup, my info is in there, and my website is in there. And yeah, don't hesitate. If anybody's struggling that you know that would like, it is really powerful and healing and soothing. Energy sessions are so good, and they give, like, I channel through tangible help too. Like I go do them too. Well, I cannot find here it is. Okay. If you guys want a copy of the recording or my favorite tools, just let me know. Like, you can send me your email. You can either write it down now or just send it to me through Meetup. You can contact me that way, and I'll send it to you. Okay. So that was one thing. Nope, that's it. Woohoo!
Good job.
Wow. Oh gosh, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you. Yeah, great.
So Arlington, Woodbridge, Tyson's, is that where everybody's from? Do you guys do any other meetups that you really like? I've noticed on some people's profiles, like there was a dancing one, and there was I'm like,
I dreamed to attend a tango on it.
I did see some sort of starting a business, entrepreneur, something that looked interesting on somebody's. But that was probably on yours? Is your profile public, or do you belong to some other meetups? There was somebody else's that I was like, that looks interesting.
Honestly, if I start to use Meetup, Christina will have to do it for me, because I get so bogged down in trying to learn platforms that I totally lose my focus on message and program and all that.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
Yes, it's not mine
and
either.
it's one of those things that held me back for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Trying to do it all.
Yes, I can attest to the same thing. It's really slowed me down.
And because besides learning the technology and the platforms, your target audience, like, where is it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
where are all the people that need you or you need them? And
Yes.
you just don't know. So then you get all these people telling you, you need to be on this, you need to be on that, and you need to be on this, and then you're on 10 things and you can't do any of them.
Yes.
So I basically went on strike about a year and a half ago from all of it. And I'm like, that's it. And I started to go back to what I'd always done, which was telephone, email, and face-to-face. And I'm really big on a truly human connection. I was writing about that this year. Because we're so deficient.
Oh, I was going to say, we're all missing that. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's part of loneliness, and it's part of people aren't thriving because they're by themselves in their media and stuff.
Yes. That's one of the tools, is connection. And I'm like, I think we don't do it because we think it should look a certain way. Or there's a couple of reasons why we don't. And but we need that connection, and we need to do it in ways that feel good to us. Like, I kept trying to connect, but I was with people that didn't match me, and it just didn't feel good.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that connection is so important. And, you know, you have a divine team, like, helping you at your service with your business. So you can call upon
I
them.
know, and that's what, and then I forget to ask, and then I always am like, oh, how do I ask this perfectly? And so I like, did I ask it right or did I ask it
And they're
wrong?
rolling their eyes.
Are they? I have been, I have,
Come on.
Yeah.
literally,
Giggling.
I say to all my guys, I'm like, I'm so sorry you got me. You have waited my whole life for stuff, but like,
That's so
I love
funny.
it that they're rolling their eyes.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
spit it out, girl. That's all I just try to
Just
spit it
come
out.
on.
Yes.
Get
Yes.
it, you know?
Yeah.
So I could
That's
use
so
how,
funny.
but I could use how, so I'll come to a session to reinforce asking. Like,
Yes.
not, like just remembering
Yeah.
to ask and then not being afraid of asking the wrong way. It's like, I just learned recently, you're gonna be mostly right. So
Mhm.
just put it out there.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite is just, what do I need to know and what do I need to do?
Is that all I need to say?
That's all I do every single. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? But because you can get so overwhelmed with, I mean, we live in a really blessed time where so much information is so available to help so many people.
Right.
But man, can you get lost in it? And so I'm like asking them, like, what do I need to hone in on, and what do I need to clear and unsubscribe and get, because you can, it'll keep us from thriving.
And what she just said.
Maybe I should not edit this part out of the recording. I'll leave it in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So yeah, you can ask any way you want. Yeah. So yeah, thanks you guys. This
Thank you
was
very much.
amazing. It was such an honor to be here with you. I have chocolates right there for everybody. And if you want an inspiring message, they're in the bowl there. You can kind of feel around and get